Welcome. I hope you've enjoyed the different series of these teachings, but this might be your first one. Nonetheless, I'm sure it's going to bless you. Pastor Evangeline,
Hi.
Pastor Flo, and we bring you a word for today. The word we have for you today is Galatians 6:9, and it says, "Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." This year at Worship Harvest, the word Apostle Moses gave us was, this is a year of fruitfulness. And so that's an exciting word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you want fruit in everything. Fruit as a wife, fruit as a business leader, fruit as a teacher, fruit as a discipler, fruit as a pastor, fruit as a whatever it is, name it. No one wants to do things that aren't going to yield anything at all. For the past few days, as Apostle has been teaching us, one of the things I've been perceiving, Pastor Evangeline, is that for us to see fruit, or for me to see fruit, or for you to see fruit, one of the things we have to embrace is faithfulness. Why? Because it's, for the most part, every time you put seed into the ground, there's time between the time you put the seed and the time you see the fruit.
Yes.
And the weight in between there is what we call faithfulness. It's the weight, which discourages most people. It's that when I've put the seed in the ground, I want to get a phone call tomorrow that, look, the tree is overwhelmed by mangoes. Bring a truck.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or maybe 2 days, 3 days, but not months, not years of waiting for this fruit.
Absolutely.
But for us to see fruit, most fruit, it's rare for you to have something grow up overnight. Most fruit, there's a period between the time the seed is sown and the time for you to experience the fruitfulness. There's something in there called faithfulness, where you consistently do the same thing over and over before you can see the fruit.
Absolutely.
And that's where this scripture comes in. That let us not grow weary, because in between the waiting, while doing the same thing over and over, serving the teas, the coffees, the drinks, welcoming the people, hugging them, making disciples, arranging for that MC mission or community meeting, pastoring that church, going out for evangelism, etc., you're bound to grow weary while doing all that good. For in this season you shall reap if we do not lose heart.
Absolutely.
How can we stay faithful?
How can we stay
so that we can see the fruit?
Yeah. So just on that point that you shared, Pastor Florence, which is not growing weary, which the verse is saying, and let us not grow weary, which means we could, as you said, we could grow weary. So there's a possibility of growing weary while we wait, while we're doing good. And you talked about planting a seed. So if it's a mango seed, you put it in the ground. You got to stay faithful, watering the ground, even when you have no clue what's going on inside
the ground, that part.
Yeah. So that part of waking up every day and watering, because if it's too dry, we don't want the seed to just die and wither. Yeah, we need to stay the course, just watering. And so that requires a lot of faithfulness, even when you're not seeing the mango tree coming up. And even when the mango tree starts to come up, it doesn't have the fruit straight away.
That part, I forgot it. The mango has to come up.
That part
it doesn't come up with the fruit already.
No, you see signs of life, for sure, signs of life. And so even with that, it's like a light bulb moment of encouragement, but you still have to stay the course, doing the same things over and over again. And so with faithfulness, one of the things that we actually had Apostle Moses, who is the movement leader of Worship Harvest Ministries, share this on faithfulness. He shared 3 key things. And the first point he shared was showing up. So you turn up. You turn up when you're feeling tired. You turn up when you're feeling discouraged. You turn up when things are not going well in your personal life. Say you're the person who makes coffees at church. You show up and serve with a smile. So you show up, because it's in showing up that is our encouragement, that is our provision, that is our deliverance, and staying the course. imagine having to leave before. I think the example Apostle Moses gave was, imagine a husband who only shows up so many times in a month, in a week. Yeah. So that the expectation is that when you get married, one of the things that you're confident about is that he's going to show up every night. He's not going to say, well, actually, off I go, and then 4 days later he pops in. Yeah. So it's, I mean, I'm not married, but Pastor Florence is.
Trust me, you won't stay far from me on that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's showing up. That's the first thing he shared. And then the second thing is increase. That you've got to do something with what you've got. And the example he gave was the parable of the talents. So that everyone that invested what they had. So you might have a gift that you're using and putting it to use. Like sitting on it at home and just being the only person that benefits from it is not investing it, because there's someone out there who's going to benefit from what you have. So putting that to use and not being like the person who had the one talent and just dug a hole and kept it. So that was the second thing, increase.
On that one, the picture that came to my mind when he was speaking was that usually people think that, increase is for the people who have much. I can give offering. It's for the people who have money. I can sow a seed. I can give towards a rise and build. I can give towards church planting. It's for that person.
The person has a lot.
Yes, it's God is calling us to be faithful with what we have. It's not what the other person has, or when you get to what that person has. For you to see fruit, plant the seed you have, not the seed you could have. Or when you have the seed that you want to have, or no, maybe it's for those people, but I also want some fruit, but that's for that. Sowing is for those people. No, it's that you'll see increase with what you have.
Absolutely.
So don't despise it. It's enough to bring you fruit.
Yes, absolutely. You were sharing that, and I remembered someone asked me, they said, I think we were putting together a gift for someone, and they said, I'd love to give, but I've only got so much. And at the end of the day, giving is not so much about the gift that you give, but what's in your heart. That also applies to honor, because sometimes maybe you're holding back because you feel like it's too small and it doesn't look great. But that's besides the point, which is what you're saying, that you give what you have, from what you have. It's an issue of the heart as opposed to the gift in itself. And the third thing on faithfulness is finishing well. That it's great to start. You think about someone who runs a marathon. If you start, you might start with so much zeal and vigor, and you've got so many people cheering you on at the start. But if you do not finish, you do not win the prize
at all.
You do not. You don't get that achievement of having won the race. So it's important to finish well, to stay the course, and especially in the middle there, as Pastor Florence said, there is seed, and then there is time, and then the harvest. The promise in this verse is that in due season you shall reap if you do not lose heart. So finishing well is all about not losing heart until the end.
And another version says, CEV says, do not get tired of helping others. You will be rewarded when the time is right if you don't give up. The NLT says, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. The two words here that I've caught my attention is the right time.
Yes, absolutely.
Different trees or plants will have different seasons in which they bring fruit. In Uganda, where I come from, there are different seasons where you find different fruits abundant. Maybe you find pineapples at the beginning of the year, then later on you find mangoes at the end of the year. Those are different trees bringing forth fruit in different seasons. Now, it would be very absurd for a mango to say, I also want to bring fruit in January.
Yes.
Why are the pineapples only? I want to be displayed in every market.
Absolutely.
In fact, even in April, even in June until December. It's that there's a right time for different kinds of seed you have sowed to come up. So when you see fruit on Evangeline's tree, it shouldn't, even though you are believing for the same fruit,
Mm.
it shouldn't mean God has denied you and given
Yes.
it to Evangeline. It's just time.
Absolutely.
Time.
Yeah, and the thing about the timing is also that time has the right conditions for the fruit to be exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
So if it happens to be the wrong season, it might be too soon. Maybe it won't be as tasty, or maybe it won't, because when you think
Won't
of
be ripe.
it won't be ripe. Maybe all kinds of things. So that due season has the right conditions for the harvest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's our word for today. That in your year of fruitfulness,
Yes.
and I feel led to say this to somebody, you're probably saying it's July.
Yeah.
I gave my first fruit. I've been hearing all this people talk about houses and lands and promotions. Where is my portion?
Where is my house?
Where is my house? Where is my portion? Is it working for some people, not working for others? What haven't I done right? Did I put my seed standing? Or it should have been lying horizontally? What is it? Yeah. And you're probably getting some bit of anxiety concerning the timing and the different things you've been expecting and waiting on God. Do not give up. In due time. There's such a thing as due time.
Yes.
Yeah, when a woman is pregnant, 1 month is not due time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are they pregnant? Yes. Is 2 months due time? 5 months. Are they pregnant? Yes. Is it
Very
due time?
pregnant?
No.
Is she probably wanting the baby to come out? Yes.
She does. Totally.
But the right time is
It's not yet. So it's July. Maybe you're going to watch this video in December or maybe next year, and you gave your first fruit the other year. In due time. The truth is, you put the seed in the ground, you're pregnant. In due time, you bring forth that fruit. Don't get weary of doing good.